because I had such detailed notes. This. I keep writing all these checks and it's getting time to cash them, and hi there, Brittany here from Just Be Crafty. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, thank you so much for coming back. Today is episode 5 of what I'm working on, and that's where I show you everything that I am working on. I'm going to start with a finished object, and unfortunately I don't actually have it with me here today, but I will have pictures on the screen. So it is the Lucky One crochet scarf, and this was actually a commission design from Lion Brand yarn. So the yarn was actually provided to me from Lion Brand. This video is not sponsored or anything like that, but I just wanted to share this pattern with you. I'm going to be sharing the pattern with you next week, so be on the lookout for that. And the yarn that was used in this project was Lion Brand, their LB collection in their Superwash Merino. So it's very, very pretty. It's very squishy. It's 100% Superwash Merino wool, so it's incredibly soft, really squishy, and just really, really great to work with. The drape of the scarf was absolutely gorgeous. This was the first time that I ever worked with this yarn, and I will tell you what, it's definitely not going to be my last. My husband actually really, really liked the yarn too, so I'll probably be making him a scarf. I'll make him a version of the Lucky One scarf too, so I'm super excited to share that pattern with you. The pattern is worked in corner to corner moss stitch, which, as you know, if you've been around for the past couple episodes, I absolutely love the moss stitch. And it's a little bit different because you work it from corner to corner rather than just straight back and forth. You still work it straight back and forth in rows, but instead of just working this way, you're working diagonally, and it creates a really, really pretty fabric. And if you've been following along on Instagram, which if you're not, make sure you do, because I share a lot of like behind the scenes tidbits. I show you what I'm working on and kind of just like a little bit more personal stuff over there. I'm on Instagram stories every single day. So if you're not following along, make sure you check it out. I'll make sure I have my handle somewhere on the screen. But I've been working on my Lucky One scarf, so I've been kind of just showing some behind the scenes on that. So I am excited to have that off of my hook, and like I said, it's already been sent off to Lion Brand. So the commission designs I do for them, I don't actually keep the designs, they keep them. But yeah, so I really liked it. I want to make probably myself one, and then one for my husband too. If you haven't yet tried this yarn, I highly, highly suggest it. The next item I'm working on is something that is a half finished object, and it is socks. So here is the one that is complete. And this is how far I am on the second sock. For this pair of socks, I am working from the cuff down. So with that, it's kind of self-explanatory. It means you work starting from the cuff, and then you work down and finish up at the toe. So to start, you're working in rounds, and you work the ribbing for the cuff, and then you work the leg and ankle. And then next you work the heel, and that is worked back and forth in rows. And then you go and pick up stitches along the heel, and then you meet back up around with the front of the sock, and you work together in rounds to make the rest of the foot. And then you finish off with the decreasing for the toe. So this pair of socks, I'm working a little bit different than I have with other ones in the past. This one, I'm working a more custom fit toe that fits, my foot a little bit better. Here, and let me show you what I mean so you can kind of see the difference between the two toes. So this is another pair of socks that I worked on, which I only have one completed. The second one is actually almost done. I just have to work the heel. So this is actually a completely different construction from this sock right here. And so I'll show you the difference. So here is the toe of this sock. And as you can see with this toe, it is worked pretty symmetrically. Like it's the same, the decreases are the same on both sides, and you kind of end up with a squared-ish toe. It actually looked a little bit more square when I was done, once I finished knitting it, but after I blocked it and on my little sock blocker, and let me pull that out. So if you've never seen one before, this is a sock blocker. I'm sure a lot of you have seen these. So basically what you do is, and you don't need them, basically once I was done, I soaked this into a little bath of cool water for a little while and then pressed out the water with a towel to get it, kind of as dry as I possibly could. And then you just slide your sock on to your blocker, and then it allows it to just dry and form really, really nicely. So as you can see, I don't need to toot my own horn, but this looks pretty professional. It kind of looks like something you would buy at a store. And it's, part of it is skill, but a big part of it is blocking and using a sock blocker, and if you're not taking pictures or anything like that, then, you really don't need them. But if you just want to see that beautiful, pristine look, when you're done knitting your socks, I highly recommend getting a blocker. That was a little bit of a tangent. So anyway, back to the toes. So if you can see the difference between the toes. So as you can see, this one is clearly not symmetrical. So this is my left foot. This is my left foot sock. And I just did a kind of a tiny bit of decreasing where my big toe is, and then along the side of my pinky toe is where I need most of my decreases. And I find that this actually works really well. This was actually a really good fit for my toe. But actually, after retrying this sock on, and this is kind of more of a classic toe where you do the same decreases on both sides. This actually fit me pretty well too. You may recognize this sock, and this is from quite a while ago. I think it was from last year sometime. I think all of my podcasts though, because I'm not very far in, this is only like my 5th episode, but I think I might have shared this in maybe my 1st or 2nd episode, and I said, I'm filming a sock tutorial. And while I did do all of the filming for it, I think I'm gonna switch up what I want to do for it. So I was originally going to do a sock tutorial and just have start to finish a sock, but there's so many different ways to do toes and heels that I don't know if I want to do just a complete sock tutorial, but kind of break it up into parts. So that way, as you're knitting the sock, you can kind of pick up in a tutorial where you need it, as opposed to just doing kind of start to finish with a sock. So I don't know, I'm still deciding on that, but I do want to mention, so these are knitted in 2 completely different ways. So as I said before, this one is worked from the cuff down, and this one is actually worked from the toe up. So this one, I started with the toe, and for the heel, this was actually an afterthought heel. So I actually knitted basically I started with the toe and I knitted all the way up until I wanted to finish it. And then I did the ribbing, and then you actually go in and you cut your work, and you pick up your live stitches with your knitting needle, and you then build out the toe. So I have my other sock that I'm still working on that I'm almost done with, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. This one, so this right here, this is what it looks like when you're working a sock and you're going to do an afterthought heel. It kind of just makes the whole process of a sock I don't know, well, depending on what you like to do, it makes it super enjoyable. So if you don't want to have to worry about doing a heel, you just want to get started on your socks, you want to get your feet wet with a sock, and you don't want to worry about and not that a heel is that complicated, but it is a little bit of a process. So if you don't want to worry about that for a little while, but you want to get your sock pretty much done, an afterthought heel is a really great way to go. Like I said, I started with the toe, and then you work all the way up into a tube until, you get to the cuff. And I'm almost done with my cuff, so I'm almost ready to bind off. You definitely don't have to wait until all the way to the end to do your afterthought heel. You could just, go up a little bit further than where your heel placement is and then do it then. You can really do it whenever you want to. So I have a couple stitch markers on here, and as you can see, this one is a cute little donut stitch marker or a progress keeper, I think I was calling them. Yeah, it's a little progress keeper, and I actually made that myself. That was super, super fun. I didn't do like a tutorial on it or anything, but I do talk a little bit about them in one of my previous podcast episodes. If you're not caught up, make sure you get caught up and check that out. But these stitch markers just kind of mark the two ends of my sock. So that way when I go back to cut into my work, so this is the row that I'm holding. This is the row that I am going to cut into to add my afterthought heel. And I made sure that I have the same exact stitch counts on both of my socks. That's very important. So that way both of your socks, fit nicely. But anyway, so I am just about ready to do that. So hopefully my next episode, I know I say that a lot and I keep writing all these checks and it's getting time to cash them and my bank account's empty. Anyway, hopefully I'll have these finished soon. And then one other thing I wanted to mention about the socks too, you may remember from a previous episode that I actually dyed this yarn. This was super, super fun. So I dyed this myself and I love the color. It's just fun. It just feels magical. It really reminds me of Cinderella, fairy godmother, castle, all that jazz. And after I dyed it and I knit these socks up, and let me tell you, when I dyed, I wrote down meticulous notes, or so I thought. I thought I did a really good job of keeping notes of everything that I did, my exact measurements of the dye and exactly what I did. Well, when I went to go dye a second batch to hopefully look the same as the first because I had such detailed notes, this is what I turned out. This is how it turned out, which this is beautiful too. I really, really like this colorway, but there is no way these two things could be called the same colorway. There's no way. I don't know what the heck I did. I don't know what I wrote down, but clearly these two colors are completely different. So in my previous podcast episodes, I was really excited because I do see this in my future. I do really want to get more into yarn dyeing, but clearly I have a little bit more practice left to do. But I came out with this colorway and I was like, oh my gosh, I have cracked the code. I know everything about yarn dyeing. All I have to do is recreate it. And I was planning to kind of like kick off that whole thing with a giveaway and some sock tutorials and all that. But then when I, dyed my next batch and this is what it turned out like, I was like, ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, we need to rein this in and I need to practice a little bit more. I need to get better at note taking and all that stuff, and that's kind of comical considering that my previous background, I was an executive assistant. So I was constantly taking notes. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So that's where we are at with these. Again, I love both of these colors and I'm super happy with this color, but they're not the same. And it would be one thing if I wasn't trying to make them the same, but I was trying to make them the same and this is what happened. So, and even the blue colors are completely different. Look at that. Look at how different these are. Like, just so different. Both beautiful, but very different. So I really need to figure out how to get a little bit more consistent. And I know that with hand-dyed yarns, you're not, every skein of yarn is going to be a little bit uniquely different, but I mean, come on. These are way, way, way too different to be even considered in the same colorway. So, but anyway, so enough of these socks. So let's move on to some more progress in some of my other projects. So it's been a minute since I shared anything about this, and here's a little peek of what it looks like. Once again, this is the Current Mood Shawl, and it's by Leslie Ann Robinson, and it's a really, really beautiful color work design, and I feel like it really kind of flexed my creative muscles a little bit. So this works a combination. So it's worked out on a bias. So it's worked kind of, it's a rectangle shawl, but it's worked on a bias, so the stitches are worked, the stitches end up looking diagonal, and it's really, really pretty. This is worked with Malabrigo yarn. I don't quite remember the colors. I think I tossed the yarn labels. No, I don't think I did. So I don't have those anymore. I don't remember what the colors are, but I know in a previous episode where I talked about this shawl, I do mention the colors. So all I remember is that the brand was Malabrigo, and it's a number 2 fingering weight yarn. It's incredibly soft. These jewel tone colors are so pretty, but I am almost done. I don't remember how far I have. I don't know if I'm just in the last color sequence or if I just have just a little bit more to go. I don't remember, but yeah, I'm super excited to get this off my needles and to try it on and to block it. I think it's going to grow quite a bit once I block it. I'm really excited to see what it looks like, you know, once I do that. This one used a new skill for me, brioche. I had never worked brioche before. It's worked in 2 colors, so it makes this really pretty, stretchy, two-toned ribbing effect, as you can see. So it's just gorgeous, and I'm having a lot of fun working on this, and I actually forgot how far along on this I am. So, you know, keep trucking along on this so I can finally get this off my needle so I can finally enjoy it. Okay, so my next project that I wanted to show you is one of my own designs and that I have started. I thought I would give you kind of a sneak peek of it. And so it's a knitted design, and it's going to be a sweater. The fuzz from all of these yarns is coming and just kind of circulating through the air and itching my face. So I apologize if I keep itching my nose, but that is why. But anyway, this is kind of like a cheetah print polka dot type design, I guess. And it's really fun. It's worked with, here, let me grab the yarn. This is worked with, I should have grabbed a full yarn, but this is worked with Knit Pick Brava Bulky, and it's a number 5 bulky weight yarn. It comes in a variety of different colors. It's super affordable. And so this has just been really fun. I've been wanting to work on a new knitted sweater design, and I've kind of had this in my mind for a while, but I was really intimidated about doing color work and knowing that after I am done knitting like the size for me, that I would have to, you know, make sure I size it for a bunch of different sizes because we all come in different shapes and sizes. I had the idea for this sweater for a really long time, but I was so worried about scaling the pattern for different sizes with the color work. But, you know, after I mapped it out, I think it's not, you know, I haven't done the size scaling yet, but after I made myself like a little color work chart of the, you know, the animal print designs, it didn't seem so bad. So I don't think that process is going to be too bad. But this is working up really fast. I was able to kind of do all of this in just a couple of days. It's going to be worked flat, and I'm going to be working it in 4 pieces. So the front and the back, and then each of the sleeves, which I haven't decided the exact way I want to do the sleeves yet. I'm thinking I want to do them flat and then seam them on, but I also might seam together the front and the back and then pick up the sleeves in the round. So I haven't quite decided what I wanted to do for those, but I'm really excited about the sweater. I think it's really cute. I'm excited to share that with you. So that's it for everything that I'm working on, and I know I have a couple other projects that I've been talking about, but I have no progress on them. My sheep sweater, I don't have any progress on. The hat for my husband, my Harlow hat, I don't have any progress on that. And I think that there might be a couple other things that I still don't have progress on. That's the only problem. As a designer myself, I have designs that, you know, that I'm obligated to do or that I need to do for my own business. So a lot of the making that I do on the side, it does just get put on the back burner. So I apologize if I keep showing you either new whips or I don't know. But anyway, so that's everything knit and crochet related that I'm working on. But let's talk about some other stuff. So let's see, what other stuff am I liking right now? Let me think. A couple shows I've been watching are, one that we finished is Ozark. So they just came out with part 1 of their final season. I think it's their final season. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it is. But that came out a few weeks ago. And so it was only like, I think it was like 4 episodes or something. It was really short, but that show's really good. It's super intense. So if you're not into like intense, you know, kind of violent dramas, then maybe that one's not for you. But I really enjoyed it. And then actually I just finished another show called Inventing Anna, and that has one of the actresses from Ozark. She plays Anna in it, and that was really good. It's based off of a true story about this girl who posed as a German heiress and basically fooled a lot of rich people in New York City. So it was a really interesting series to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, so if you're looking for just like kind of a fun drama to watch that has some truth to it, that's a good one to check out. And then I actually just finished watching, or my husband and I, we watch all these shows together. Another one that we just finished was Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother. I'm a huge fan of Big Brother. I've been watching it for the last 10 plus years, I think, but I love that show. And then this was just the 3rd season of the Celebrity Edition, so that was a lot of fun to watch. That came on multiple days a week, and I actually could never keep up with the schedule, because with normal Big Brother, I know it, you know, down to a T. Sunday is HOH, Wednesday is veto, Thursday is the live eviction, but with the Celebrity Edition, it came on like, I don't know. I don't even know how many days a week it came on. I think it was more than 3. So we just kind of DVR'd all of them. And so we were kind of just constantly getting caught up with them. And I felt like we were watching like tons of episodes every day of it. But yesterday was the finale. So that was, you know, I'm always sad when Big Brother ends. But I know, you know, a new season will start up in the summer, you know, regular Big Brother. But yeah, I think that there's a couple shows that I'm looking forward to watching. I can't think of what they are right now. Let me think of movies that I've seen recently. I most recently watched Death on the Nile, or Murder on the Nile. I can't remember what it was called. It's a movie based off of an Agatha Christie novel. That was good. It was just kind of like a murder mystery. And that was the second one to, the first one was Murder on Orient Express, I believe. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong on any of these titles. That one was okay. I thought that Death on the Nile was better. I don't know. I just thought it was more fun. It was just a little bit more interesting to watch. The first one was good too, but the second one I thought was even better. So we saw that last week. We just watched Uncharted. That was a good one. That one's based off a video game that my husband has enjoyed playing for a really long time. That one was with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. It was good. It was funny. It was just kind of fun to watch, like an adventure movie. I loved, like, what were those movies with Nicolas Cage? National Treasure. I loved those National Treasure movies. So it was kind of like that. It was like even more over the top than National Treasure. But yeah, but it was still, you know, it's still fun to watch. Or, you know, kind of like an Indiana Jones type thing. I feel like they don't make enough movies like that. But that was fun. I think I've seen some other things too, but I just can't think of. I saw the new Spider-Man, but that was kind of a while ago. So that's where I'm at with TV and entertainment. And then next is a book. And I talked about this book like last year. It was a while ago. I started this book like last year, but then I put it down. And I just like picked it back up like a week or 2 ago. So now I know I'm going to finish it. But it's this book. It's called The Death of Mrs. Westaway, and it's really good. It's by Ruth Ware, and she did In a Dark, Dark Wood and The Woman in Cabin 10, which I've read both of those, and I thought that they were good. And I think that In a Dark, Dark Wood, supposedly they were going to be making a series of it, or no, not a series. They were going to be making a movie of it, I thought. Like, I thought Reese Witherspoon was like producing it or something, but then nothing ever happened with it. But then again, that was like prior to 2020, so I don't know, who knows, maybe it's in the works now. But anyway, that's why I read that book to begin with. Ooh, it's going to be a movie, so I want to read that. And then nothing ever happened with it. It was okay. It was good. I think it would make a good screenplay though, so I'd be really excited to see the movie. And then I read The Woman in Cabin 10. That's one of her other books, and that one was good too. It was a New York Times like #1 bestseller or something. It was one of those. I don't know what it was about it. It enthralled me, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, I read the whole thing, but I just wasn't wowed about it. I feel like this one is actually better, and it's funny because this one, I don't think this was a New York Times bestseller, and I actually think that this one is better. I don't know. I actually think this one's just a little bit more fun to read. And I have no idea. And I don't know, it's getting a little bit creepy. It's fun. So I'm about halfway through, and so I will make sure to update you on this. And I don't know, maybe you've read it. Please no spoilers or anything like that. But I'm having fun reading this. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and would like to, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!